You are never wrong simply because you are everything all at once, making all the decisions for everyone. So it is not your decision, an individual decision, someone's decision. It is a collective decision that was made by this oneness, which is you. So you can never be wrong. You took everything under consideration when you made the decision. Suppose you think you've done something and you were wrong doing it. This is simply because you are looking only at the narrow perspective of the character which you identify with. If you identify with your character, of course, that the outcome may seem to be a mistake or something bad that has happened because of your decision. So it's a lot of responsibility and weight over the character, over you, because you have so much influence. The you, the tiny you, has made a mistake and you were wrong. But you never are. Because it is not your decision, the character's decision, based on the knowledge of the character, it cannot be a mistake. There are no mistakes in this illusion of reality. There are no mistakes. It is all pre-planned. It is all very calculated. It is a masterpiece of synchronicity, and you are only just automatically fulfilling your part. So it's a good idea to take off this heavy, heavy weight from yourself. Basically, you are not responsible for the things that happens through your decisions and actions. But it is a terrible thing to say if you do not understand me in the right way, because it is not calling you to take off the responsibility. It is just saying it is not your responsibility. In a very paradoxical way, it is more up to you to act in the most rational, correct, compassionate way you can and avoid these mistakes or wrongdoings. It is your responsibility. So it's like I'm saying two things. You are not responsible because it is all pre-planned, and you must act as if you are responsible and it is the outcome of your actions. In these two levels of perceiving what is happening, suppose something is happening and you're trying to react to it and you're doing the wrong thing. You're not acting in the best way. It seems to you, like when you think about it. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have gone sooner. Or how could I get inside this trap? This was a mistake. But everything you have done, you pre-planned in a very different way than what you perceive now as a character that is making decisions. It is so different. It has nothing to do with the psychological structure of characters, of people, of how they act, of how we act as human beings. This is like a process. You live, you have a character, you have desires or weaknesses, and then through these features you act and you make the decisions, and sometimes the outcome can be a catastrophic. It can be very bad, but this is the way it usually is being perceived by you. The general thing, the oneness, everythingness, all nothingness, call it what you want, has done all the mistakes on purpose, because one person's mistake is the redemption of another person through a magical, mysterious, beautiful, like coincident. The waves from every action are so beautifully orchestrated. They are not something that just happens. It is, you can never know what your disaster or tragedy or mistake, simple mistake, has caused in other people's lives, in the reality itself, and how it changed it. Because you are not exposed to the full potential of what you are, and you cannot grasp the process. But I recommend you trust the process. Trust the mistake, because I don't know how you can live with this thought that I was wrong, this was my responsibility, I am a human being, I'm someone, and I've decided for this one, and something has happened because of me. It is such a heavy weight, it's a burden, and sometimes people's lives are being ruined by these mistakes and wrongdoings that they have done. When you live your life, when you act, you can choose, and there are endless paths you can take. Every second is like a crossroad, and you make a decision. And just like in a game, there is the optimal way of playing the game, and it is taking the right decisions in every crossroad, making the smart moral choice, making the connected choice, acknowledging your feelings, and really being aware of what is happening and not just being drifted by everything that is happening. So there, in this endless, countless crossroads, there is an optimal way to play this game. Rarely people do that. It doesn't matter. The optimal way of playing the game will only take you faster inside the game to another level of evolution of the character, and hopefully connect you to yourself, and you'll be enlightened, self-realized, you'll know what you are. But meanwhile, each one of these endless, countless crossroads are narratives or stories that you tell. So following the thread of optimal decision-making leads you to greater evolution and joy, abundance, calmness, openness. It is a great way to live, making the right choices, the connected choices every crossroad. It only demands that you be very aware of yourself and your surroundings, and very sincere and willing to do the hard work, even if it's not pleasant, and being industrious and being someone who is willing to really be awake and alive in its life and make every single time the right decision. But there is no right decision. It's only the decision of this thread of a story. All the threads were created by us to express stories. So it doesn't really matter what thread of a story you express. The only thing is that you can, in any point, start to express the optimal, the highest way of living and decision making. So you are never wrong as a concept, because you have planned, we have planned this whole thing, and we took all these arrows under consideration. And from these mistakes and wrongdoings, many other things has happened in this vast, endless connection between expressions. You cannot start to grasp how every word or every movement changes so many universes, so many stories, exactly like this saying about the butterfly and the hurricane. So this is, generally speaking, you can never be wrong. You are not you. Whatever you have done is in correlation of the thread you are in, and it's just like symbolizing the level of your spiritual development or evolution when you aspire to be very evolved and to have a meaningful, full, loving life. So in the story, of course, you can be wrong, and it all depends so in the story, you can make mistakes and be wrong. You made the wrong decision and you didn't get the job you want because of a mistake you made in the job interview, or you were wrong marrying that woman or that man, or you were wrong going out in the middle of the night and causing a car accident and maybe you killed someone. I don't know. You were wrong. Something you did caused something bad. So in the story, you were wrong. But if you want to stay liberated in your life without being totally liberated, without enlightenment, you can be just by being complete with your decision-making process, with the way you take decisions, with the way you act. Because somewhere, I don't know what to say, maybe it's in the stomach, maybe it's in your heart, maybe it's in the air, I don't know where it is located in your expression of a person, of a human being, somewhere in your soul, call it what you want, somewhere there is a calling in every crossroad that calls the optimal, that screams the optimal choice for you. And listening to it attentively and looking at the state in which you are with open eyes, without fear, and making the brave decisions, even if they are not comfortable, will at least assure you that you, your character, have done everything as beautifully as you could. The best thing you could do. You acted in a pure heart, with pure intentions, and without fear and bravely. You did the right thing. If the outcome is, I don't know, something bad, it's part of the thread of the story, and it is connected to the stories of other people and their evolution, the way they are evolving. You are part of their evolution, assuming that they are them and you, because everything, as we said, is oneness. So this oneness, as a collective, wants to grow. If you choose this thread of optimal decision-making, it will influence the surrounding and the world, and of course, will indicate what is the state of the world. Your state is the state of the world around you. You want to heal yourself, you want to heal the world, it's everything. It's the same thing. In the meantime, you can try to release the heavy weight of just being something separate that has made a mistake. So much responsibility people take, and it is overwhelming, and sadly it makes the person avoid acting sometimes, and this is a vicious loop So knowing that you are this thing, that you are never wrong, you are only representing a thread of the endless possibilities available to it to express itself, is liberation. And a psychological liberation inside your life can be just acting in the most noble way you can and listening to the part of you that knows, and you know. It cannot be silenced completely. It can be very numbed. It can be buried under endless thoughts and rituals. You can be a religion person with endless rituals on his head, but somewhere there's a cry. It never leaves you. We never leave ourselves. We never stop believing and calling to ourselves. Calling as loud as we can to ourselves, to see ourselves, to listen to the way we can and should act. If you do that, if in your life you choose to bravely try to avoid mistakes, try not to do the wrong thing, the way people do, by weighing and thinking and taking under consideration and using the advice from others that see the situations and listening to others, what they have to say about you, about what is happening. Sometimes people you love will reflect. If you ask them sincerely, they will give you good advice or will show you where you ignore this calling, where you are harming yourself or others. If you want to stop harming yourself and others, you should listen and you should open your eyes and ears to everything and everyone and bravely do the things that will end this suffering that you suffer, and you sometimes you cause additional suffering. Your mistakes and the wrong things you've done all belong to the thread that you are expressing right now. You can choose the optimal thread of expression any millisecond. You can just hop on it and everything will change. For you, for everything. I hope the world does that. I hope the world will not see itself, will not be so egotistical, like greed. People are greedy. What are they greedy about? It reminds me of little children playing in the kindergarten, and they see like a bunch of colorful stones, and they think it's diamonds, and they play with it. And they fight over these colorful stones. It's funny. The greed is funny. I cannot, or I should address the subject of cruelty, viciousness, brutality, everything that is connected to war, fight, anger. But it is a different kind of explanation. What is this thing? It is wrongdoing. It has a purpose and a job inside the expression, just a role in the thread, again, designed to evolve the character, to make the character stronger, to build the character, to allow it to see what is right, what is wrong, beauty. You could not see light without darkness. This is the role of the darkness. So everything you've done, and if you are trapped in a situation that you don't like, if it's a job, if it's a relationship, or if something just doesn't work in your life and you think you are doing something wrong, maybe you are. You are doing something that is preventing you from just moving along, moving forward, you are doing it to yourself. So of course you're doing something wrong. Basically you are not, because this is what happens to you, so you are just expressing this line of the story. Do you like it? If you don't like it, it's always in your ability to change the thread of the expression. It is also pre-planned, this transition of doing the right thing, understanding what it is you were doing wrong, and starting to be authentic to yourself, who you are as a character, what are you willing to put up with and why, and is it healthy, and is it healthy for others, and are you contributing to the world around you? What are you, and are you wrong closing yourself down? Everything you must see for yourself. It is a wonderful exploration, because people, I don't know, they struggle to try to find this state of being what they are, enlightenment. And rituals, meditation, and self-inquiry, such as who am I, who am I, who am I, are beautifully, I don't know, like a folklore. It's like folklore. I don't know how to say it in English. It's colorful, it's nice. It's not useful. The only useful thing is looking at directly at your life, at your character, at your mother, to your children, at everything, how you act inside this illusion of reality, how you represent the thing itself. And when there is a state of self-realization, you understand that you were never wrong, because you only automatically followed the thread of your evolution. And there were so many outcomes, and it was so beautifully orchestrated. So yeah, just in awe of this whole thing. It's so beautiful. So just in these two levels, two things. One, you are never wrong. We planned it. This is what we wanted. This is the process. And to make everything in your power as a character to act, to represent this thing, and bravely do the right thing.